In this video, we're going to talk about qualitative data visualization. Qualitative data visualization is the process of representing non-numerical or categorical data in a visual form. Visualizing qualitative data can help analysts identify patterns, trends, and relationships that may not be immediately apparent from the data alone. We're going to use the MTCars built-in R dataset. We're going to load the data under the name DAT. To view the data, we can use the head command. We can see that this data set consists of a number of cars, some mileage, the number of cylinders, and some other variables. Here we're going to talk about the number of cylinders that each car has. Now you might say, that looks like quantitative data rather than qualitative data. But in fact, we can classify a car by the number of cylinders it has, making it a category. A lot of times you'll find categorical data has been transformed into some sort of numerical placeholder in order to more easily allow it to be analyzed. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the number of cylinders. So if we type in DAT $CYL, we've just stripped off the cylinders column. We can see this is a sequence of 4s, 6s, and 8s. And what we'd like to do is figure out how many of each we have. So let's begin by making a vector of just this data. Let's call it cylinders. So we've created a variable cylinders, and it consists of the data in the cylinder column. In order to make a frequency distribution table, we're going to use the table command. Let's call our table cylinders.frequency. Using the table command, we've created a table. We can see that we have a table called cylinders.frequency in our values panel. If we want to look at that table, we can just call that up. So there's 11 cars that have 4-cylinder engines, 7 cars that have 6-cylinder engines, and 14 cars that have 8-cylinder engines. While frequency is good, relative frequency or percentage frequency is often better. In order to get the relative frequency, we're going to take this table and we're going to divide it by the number of data points we have. So we'll call this variable cylinders.rel frequency. Get the relative frequency. We take our cylinders.frequency and divide it by the number of data points, or the number of rows in the data set. The number of rows in the data set can be pulled up using the nrow command. We can see that when we pull up the cylinders.rel frequency value, we have a table where about 0.34, 0.21, and 0.43 are our relative frequency values for 4, 6, and 8-cylinder engines, respectively. While a lot of people are fine working in fractions, a lot of people prefer percentages. To get a percent frequency, we just take our relative frequency and we multiply by 100. Let's call this cylinders.pct frequency. Take our cylinders rel frequency, multiply it by 100, table with the percentages. In our next video, we'll talk about creating bar charts and pie charts with this data.